Okay, hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about warehousing. So, when we look at warehousing, what we see is that we have many types of warehousing, many uses for warehousing. Um, and warehousing can be strategic. It's always a part of our operations, but we also have to understand who owns the warehouse, who operates the warehouse, the warehousing decisions, the strategic levels of the warehouse. Warehousing contributes value in the logistics process and traditionally has been viewed as a place to hold or store your inventory. However, the contemporary view of the warehouse functions to mix inventory assortments. It allows you to meet customer demands, and it really allows you to use it as a strategic advantage if done right. Warehousing, they were once viewed as a necessary evil and they were used to coordinate product supply with consumer demand. The explosion of the consumer economy after World War II saw the rise of distribution networks to consumer goods. Warehousing shifted from passive storage to strategic assortment. And as a result, they've really grown in the scope of how we use them. They grew into, they evolved into different types, such as distribution centers, consolidation terminals, break bulk facilities, and cross docks. So, a strategic warehouse offers manufacturers a way to reduce the dwell time of their parts and materials, reduce their inventory that they're holding. A bit popular way to do this is using just in time or JIT, which is a stockless production strategy. And this requires strategically located warehouses across the globe where your suppliers have parts that they own. You don't own them until they actually come to your facility and you get them just in time to use them. An important goal in warehousing is to maximize flexibility, to respond to ever-changing customer demand, and that includes product assortments, value-added services, and your shipment sequencing. So strategic warehouses can provide both economic and service benefits. Some of the economic benefits of the warehouse occur when overall logistics costs are reduced, and this can include consolidation of break bulk. It can have sorting, seasonal storage, reverse logistics costs, and some of those service benefits are justified by our sales improvements, and that they're more than offset by added costs. So spot stocking, full line stocking, value added services. So when we look at the consolidation and break bulk reduce transportation costs, consolidation occurs when a warehouse receives material from a number of sources and then it combines them into the exact quantities for a specific destination. Whereas break bulk, it's when you get one large shipment in. So think of getting, 10,000 shirts in from China, and then you break those down and you send those out to regional distribution centers that then can send them out to your store. So someone like a Walmart is doing this when they're buying bulk from Asia. So when we look at cross docking would occur. A lot of the truck companies will do this, and you think about someone like FedEx. FedEx will have their regional freight trucks, and they go out and they'll pick up stuff all around Indianapolis, where I'm from, and then they'll come to a cross dock and they'll unload every truck, and it'll get sorted out into outbound trucks. And they may have two trucks going to the Chicago area, a truck going to St. Louis, a truck going to Nashville, a truck going to Louisville, Cleveland, Detroit, whatever. So they come and at the center of this dock, they sort it out and then they put it on the outbound trucks. So successful cross docking is going to be highly dependent on information technology. Products are received, selected, repackaged, and loaded for shipment without storage. And they do use they're often used by general merchandising and food companies. It enables by conveyors and sortation equipment, and it's used in large distribution centers often. But really, cross docking is very popular in the trucking industry. And in this mixing combines inventory from multiple origins, just like cross docking, but it also adds items that are regularly stocked at the mixing warehouse. So assembly supports manufacturing operations. So assembly occurs when products or subcomponents from second tier suppliers are assembled by a warehouse located near the manufacturing plant. Common assembly processes are packaging and color customization. Um, and then seasonal storage provides direct benefit by accommodating production of demand. So this could be seasonal production, which it could include agricultural products. It could include Christmas gifts. It could include outdoor stuff such as lawn furniture, outdoor toys, pool supplies, construction equipment, or construction supplies. Seasonal storage does allow production efficiencies without the constraints of seasonality. Reverse logistics, this is really, really growing right now. Reverse logistics includes activities that support the return management, so recalls or product that did not sell, remanufacturing or refurbishment and repair, as well as remarketing or cycling disposal and defective products. So, some of the service benefits of a warehouse: spot stocking is the position of inventory for seasonal or promotional demand, whereas full line stocking provides one stop shopping capability for goods from multiple suppliers. Value added services often include any work that creates a greater value to the customer. So this can be repackaging, this could be breaking down, this could be quality checks, or even some light assembly. Um, so warehousing operations involve two major activities: handling and storage. So our objective in the warehouse is to efficiently receive inventory, store it as required correctly, so that we can easily pull it out. We can pull it out, we can assemble it into complete orders, and then we can make the consumer shipment. Operations will therefore emphasize product flow. So then when we look at handling, must optimize movement. We don't want to waste any movement. So if you go back to your six key principles of lean, we don't want to waste movement. So we want to continually optimize our movement and efficiency. So this is receiving, unloading the arriving vehicles, it's in storage, so moving the goods for storage, or order selection, which is often called picking, and then shipping, which is verifying the order and then loading it onto the departing vehicles. Storage plans should make product velocity a major factor. So slotting determines specific locations for the product based on velocity. So how fast the goods move, how heavy is the weight, and the special characteristics: how large or small does it require to rack or bin storage. Warehousing must manage two classes of storage. So we look at active storage, and this is storage for basic inventory replenishment. It focuses on quick movement, includes flow through or cross dock distribution, and then extended storage. So think of this as like a grain bin or a large terminal. So storage of inventory held in excess of a period for normal replenishment, seasonal, speculative, or even commodities, like I said, agricultural, like corn or soybeans in these large grain bin distribution centers you see along railways. Or I guess in St. Louis, you'll even see them close to the river. So when we look at warehouse ownership arrangements, we can have a privately owned warehouse, which is operated by the firm owning the product, such as a Walmart distribution center. Or there's a public service company, which a service company owns the warehouse and hires out space and services. So this would be like a non-dedicated 3PL. So someone like a CBRE or a Kuehne or a DB Schenker might be a company that does this. So these usually are classed as general merchandise, refrigerated, bonded, special commodities, medical grade, and they'll sell them to similar customers. And you will have a diversified warehouse that is more like almost like a physical marketplace, so to speak, but thus consumers are not allowed in there. Contract warehousing combines elements of private and public operations, and this usually is a long-term relationship or contract between a firm and a warehouse owner operator. It's a long-term cost savings compared to a public warehouse. It is cheaper. And often the firm's employees will work alongside the contract employees. A great example of this is Kraft. They have they've been contracting with Americold Logistics for warehousing since the late 1990s. Network deployment is a combination of private, public, and contract facilities used by a firm. And network deployment strategy requires answering two questions: how many warehouses should be established? Which warehouse ownership type should be used in the specific markets? And for example, when warehouse utilization is not fully thought throughout the year, do we use a private or contract warehouse to cover 75% of the requirement? Do we use a hybrid model here? Do we use public facilities to accommodate peak demand, but rely on the steady state or the static in a private facility? Warehousing decisions that determine the handling and storage of the efficiency are, so we do have to ask ourselves about site selection, design, the product mix analysis. Can we expand? Can we contract? Can we handle that peak seasonal demand? What are the material handling? Is it automated? Is it manual? The layout, the sizing, the house management system, can it be integrated? Can it not be integrated? How accurate are they? How often do we audit? Can we audit? What is the security? Does it need to be Does it need to be Homeland Security certified? Safety and maintenance. Site selection is often driven by the service availability and the cost factors, and you identify broad geographic regions where an active warehouse meets these, and then you can go from there. You do often want to be close to major highways, possibly rails or ports, and the selection and the number of retail outlets drives locations and warehouses. So the final selection should be preceded by extensive analysis. Walmart is a great example of this, where they have their distribution grouped to where all their stores are within a reasonable proximity to any of their distribution centers. Warehouse management systems, they integrate procedures and software support to standardize storage and handling work procedures. One main use of the warehouse management system is to coordinate order selection. We have discrete selection is when a specific customer order is selected and prepared for shipment as a single work assignment. And we have wave and batch selection. And this is when orders are processed through warehouses, through zones of the warehouse assigned to specific employees, and they're batched, just like manufacturing. Um, Other warehouse planning issues. So inventory accuracy is typically maintained by the annual physical count. Sometimes you'll do this quarterly. And you'll have cycle counting, which is an audit of selected inventory, often random, often high movers, on a cyclical schedule. Audits are common to maintain safety, assure compliance and regulations, and to improve procedures. And security issues always involve protection of pilferage, which is shrinkage or theft and damage. Safety and maintenance issues must also be considered when planning warehouse designs. Accident prevention, comprehensive safety programs, and training, accident investigation and follow up. We're looking at environmental protection. So, do we have spill kits? Do we have spill plans? Are we minimizing our environmental impact? And maintenance. So, do we have scheduled maintenance on the building, on the handling equipment, on collision damage prevention? So, what's the future of warehouse management? Will the warehouses grow smaller in the future? Will they grow larger? Will they offer a wider range of services? Will the final assembly of goods or services be done in house? Will we see more 3PLs, more 4PLs? Will we see companies start to bring it back in? Really, there's a whole lot of interesting topics that need to be considered. So, I challenge you that as you walk away from this lecture, you do stop and ask yourself, what do I see as the future of warehousing?